next subject is going to be the repeat and reverse modes. This is really simple. There's not a lot with these. Well, there's getting to be more with them, but they're very simple to use. So here's repeat. You just take the mode dial and you move it over to repeat, and then you have adjust, and it shows you how many times you can repeat a routine. Okay, so you have two ways of doing a repeat. You have the back repeat and the forward repeat. And what this means is that if you're doing a forward repeat, say you're doing a 6-inch routine, and then you're going to do a forward repeat, it's going to get to the end of that routine, and then it's going to begin all over again from that point where it ended. However, back means that it starts out from the starting point, finishes up the first routine, then it will rewind itself and then do that routine again, and then rewind itself and again, however many times you have selected. So you can do up to 1 to 10 times. So if I was going to do 10 with back repeat, that means it's going to, it started here and it came out to here. When it's done, it's going to move back. I'll do it a second time, third time, fourth time. However, if you're doing forward repeat, then you do like say a 1-inch routine. You move from here to here, and then it's going to repeat it to here, and then repeat it to here, and repeat it to here. So it'll just step along and keep going, whereas backwards will reset to the original position. Also, you have start. And what this does is that it'll run the routine and then it'll just rewind and stop. That's it. So this is going to be really handy if you want to do overlays, like you want to do a nighttime and a daytime, and you want to overlay them. You can run the routine and then hit start and back it up, and it'll stop at the original point that it started. Then later in the evening, you can redo the routine, and then everything should line up perfectly. I've done repeat tests where it definitely hits repeatability very nicely, and everything is just dead on with its accuracy. So that's really it for the repeat modes. Now, reverse is very much the same. Okay, you have 10 through off. We'll get to drift later. I'm still finishing up the drift mode, and it's going to be in the reversal section, but you go from 10 down to off. Okay, reverse means how many times you're going to reverse the routine. So rather than with a repeat, let's say you did a 4 inches of movement and started here and ended here. Well, with repeat, it'll either start here and continue on, or it'll rewind and then redo the routine. But with reverse, it'll run the routine out like this, and then it will run the routine mirrored backwards. And you have two types. You have symmetrical and asymmetrical. And what that has to do is with the ramping pattern. So if you're doing a reverse and you're using a symmetrical ramp, this won't make any difference at all. This will be completely useless, because it'll do the exact same thing backwards because you're running a symmetrical ramp. But if you're running an asymmetrical ramp, so you start really slow and you get really fast towards the end, and then you do an asymmetrical repeat, it's going to start out really slow here and then come really fast by the time it hits back. So let me see if I can explain this a little bit easier with the whiteboard. So right now we're looking at RVS, which of course shows up on here as what? R5, because it can't produce V. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look at it this way. You have, here's the ramp, or here's the speed on this axis, okay? And this one, the frames, okay? 0 to 360. When it starts out, and if you're going to use asymmetrical ramp, and let's say 75%, right? So it's going to look like this as it goes. The speed's going to start out at 0. It's going to gain speed until it's 75 point, and then it's going to slow down for the last. So this is on the outward trip. Now if you're going to do a reverse, it's going to run back the opposite direction. So with a symmetrical ramp, or a symmetrical reverse, it's going to change this number 75 to 25. because now it's looking at it from this perspective. So I'm going to use a different color for the return. It's going to come up and it's going to match this, okay? So for the first 25% it's going to gain speed, then the last 75% it's going to lose speed. So that's how that works if you're using an asymmetrical ramp with a symmetrical reverse. If you're using an asymmetrical reverse, the original ramp comes up here to 75%, right? Well, it doesn't flip the number, it just keeps the number at 75%. So that means on the way back, it's going to come until it hits 75% at top speed. And then the last 25% is going to lower down. So you can almost think of it like this. Starts out really slow, gaining speed, gaining speed, gaining speed. Then comes a stop, and then fast, and then slow down to a crawl. That would be symmetrical. Asymmetrical would work like this. It starts out with a 75% ramp, right? It'll start really slow, and then it starts picking up more speed to 75, and then it slows to a crawl. And it's going to start really slow. So it gains speed until it hits full speed, and then it slows to a crawl. So hopefully that helps explain it. Whether or not you even use these, I don't know. I wanted to come up with as many ramping patterns and many movement patterns as possible because these are things that I wanted to try and I wanted to do. Whether or not you do them, I don't know. The usefulness is only limited by your creativity. So this might be something you never even want to use. It might be something that you really enjoy using a lot. Once I start introducing out the other axis for pan, tilt, lens control, turntable, all that kind of stuff, then you'll probably find really fun ways to play with this. But in the meantime, you're probably not going to be doing a lot of this unless you just want it to kind of hump along like that, you know, for like the repeat mode, or if reverse, you just want to send it out and send it back in. And then whether or not you have an adjustment on the ramp, you know, that's entirely up to you. So this is going to be an example of how you would set up a routine, right? Let's say you just want to go ahead and do, we're going to start out with intervals, move that down to 5 seconds. Okay, and then we're not going to worry about the bulb or buffer because we're shooting during daylight. We have a nice fast shutter speed, so you don't even have to consider that. Shots, and we're just going to do 210 shots from end to end. And distance, we're going to go a little bit short. We're going to go 10 inches. And then the ramping, we want to do, in this case, we're going to do an asymmetric ramp at 75%. So you pop it over to asymmetric, bring this up to 75%. Hit set, boom, okay? Now, if we want to do a repeat in this, if we want to send this out and just bring it back to where it comes back to the originating point and stops, just put it on start and hit set. And then you go over to go and start it off. Or if you want to have it come back and repeat the routine, you can have it repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. I could set it up to go longer than that. I just didn't really see much of a need. So if you feel that you want it to go longer and you get one of these systems, just let me know and I can tailor the code to where it goes a lot more than 10. I just limited it there because I didn't see a point in going any further. And then also you have the choice of, if you want to just kind of step through it, right? So you want to move 3 inches with a ramp and stop, and then 3 inches with a ramp, stop, 3 inches with a ramp and stop. How would you do that? Well, we're just going to forget about bulb and all that kind of stuff because the default's wrong, which is 360 shots, 5-second intervals. So we're just going to focus on distance. Bring that down to 3 inches. Or if you like the metric system, I don't know, like however many that would be. I think that'd be like 12 or 13 centimeters. So you just dial that in. Then you want to ramp, put that back on the 75% ramp for asymmetrical, meaning that at the 75th percent of the way through the image collection, it will have hit full speed and then it'll start slowing down. Okay, and then we want to do a repeat to where you repeat that routine over and over. You would do a forward repeat, and then 3. So if you choose 3, it's actually going to give you 4 total routines because it's going to repeat it 3 times. So that would be 4 routines. Hit set and go. Or if you want to just go out and rewind and start again and rewind and start again, you would use back. Put it on 3, start, and go. No problem. Now, with the reverse mode, this is all very much saying. This is all very simple. I'm just going to reset it so everything's at the default conditions. We're just going to throw on a ramp with an asymmetrical ramp. We're going to put that back at 75% just because I like using that for these examples. You're going to move it over to reverse. So reverse, you have off all the way up to 10 times. You have an asymmetrical and symmetrical. So that is, what does it do with the ramping? Does it mirror the ramping backwards? So if it comes out and hits full speed here and then slows down and stop here, you want to have it hit full speed here on the way back? If so, that's symmetrical. If you want it to hit full speed at 75% on the way back, then you would use asymmetrical. And then you just show how many times do you want it to repeat and go back and forth. You want to do 9 times? Hit start. And then there you go. Move it over to go and start. That's as simple as all this gets. I mean, this is a... I think my battery's about dead. Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell. That's the reverse modes and the ramping, or the repeat modes. It's just basically, do you want to do the routine back and forth and have it do it each time? You want to go out and rewind, then go out and rewind, and go out and rewind? Or do you want to just go out once and then rewind once and stop? Or do you want it to go out and then repeat itself on the way out over and over and over? And that's it. That's all you have to do. You just select what you want, hit set, put it in, go, done. See, no problem. Good. Next, I'm probably going to go over the continuous mode, and that'll be a nice short one. So, thank you very much.